The Sinestro Corps is the dark mirror of the Green Lanterns, fueled not by willpower but by fear. Created by Thal Sinestro after he was banished from the Green Lanterns, this group believes that fear is the only way to bring order to the universe. Their rings, powered by the cosmic entity Parallax, choose those who can instill terror, monsters, murderers, and the most terrifying beings known to man. But Sinestro built his Corps secretly on Quart, a planet in the antimatter universe. He gathered warriors from every sector, training them to spread fear across the cosmos. To ensure their loyalty, recruits went through brutal psychological conditioning. Lyssa Drak, the keeper of the Book of Parallax, recorded their history, while Arkillo, a massive brute, trained them like a drill sergeant. Their ranks included killers like Carousil, who was raised by wild beasts. There was Despotelius, a sentient virus that infects and kills its enemies from within. There was also Bedovian, a sniper who could take out targets from light years away. When the time was right, Sinestro launched a massive attack. He allied with the Manhunters, Superboy Prime, and even the Anti-Monitor to wage war against the Green Lanterns. His goal? To force the Guardians of the Universe to abandon their rules and allow lethal force. As you can imagine, the war was brutal, with battles across Oa, Mogo, and Earth. A lot of Green Lanterns died, but in the end, Sinestro was defeated and ultimately captured. But even in his absence, his Corps didn't fall apart. Mongol, another warlord, briefly took control, trying to reshape it into his own Mongol Corps. But Sinestro fought back, reclaimed his power, and reassembled his army. And the Corps remains a constant threat, proving one terrifying truth, that fear always finds a way. Kyle Rayner isn't just another Green Arrow. He's the guy who kept the Corps alive when everything else fell apart. When the Green Lantern Corps was destroyed, Kyle was the only one chosen to wield the last remaining power ring. No backup, no mentors, just him and the weight of the entire universe on his shoulders. But he didn't just survive, he thrived. When the Corps was rebuilt, his experience and skill earned him the title of Honor Guard, putting him just below the Guardians themselves in the chain of command. Kyle's willpower is off the charts, but his creativity sets him apart. Unlike other Lanterns who rely on basic constructs, Kyle's artistic mind let him create detailed, elaborate energy constructs, making his ring work almost like an artist's brush. He's also been host to the Ion Entity, a powerful being that gave him reality warping abilities for a time. Even without the extra power, his strength of will is legendary. He's resisted mind control, stood against gods, and pushed his ring beyond its limits. Interestingly, his love life has been just as intense as his battles. His first love, Alexandra DeWitt, was tragically murdered by Major Force, a moment that shaped him forever. He later dated Donna Troy, a former Wonder Girl, but they went their separate ways after personal tragedies. He also had relationships with Jade, that's Alan Scott's daughter, and even Sinestro's daughter too. That must have been a really interesting Thanksgiving Day party. Anyway, beyond his ring skills, Kyle's a trained fighter skilled with weapons and has held his own against some of the most formidable enemies, even without his power. He was trained by Martian Manhunter and fought alongside the Justice League, proving that he's more than just a lantern, he's a hero in his own right. Carol Ferris runs Ferris Aircraft, one of the biggest aerospace companies, and she's got the skills to fly the jets herself. She's also Hal Jordan's boss, and sometimes his love interest. The two have an on-again, off-again relationship, but things get even more complicated when Carol becomes something far more powerful, Star Sapphire. Okay, so the Zamorans are an ancient race of warrior women, and they chose Carol to be their queen. Now, she wasn't really interested in the gig, but they weren't exactly taking no for an answer. So, naturally, DC style, they brainwashed her, turning her into Star Sapphire, a force powered by love, but twisted into obsession. The result? Well, she saw Green Lantern as her enemy instead of the man that she loved. Every time Hal fought her, he managed to snap her out of it, but the cycle just kept repeating. Even when she wasn't under the Zamorans' control, Star Sapphire had a mind of her own, always lurking beneath the surface. For years, Carol juggled running Ferris Aircraft, her feelings for Hal, and this otherworldly persona that wouldn't stay buried. She even got engaged to another man, breaking Hal's heart and pushing him away. But when he finally revealed that he was Green Lantern, their connection grew more potent than ever. Hal even left the Corps at one point, choosing a life with Carol over the responsibilities of a Lantern. As Star Sapphire, Carol wields a violet power ring, creating energy constructs, force fields, and even healing the wounded through the power of love. At her strongest, she's resurrected people simply by linking their hearts. Whether she's a corporate powerhouse, a pilot, or a cosmic warrior, one thing's for sure, Carol is never just a bystander in Hal Jordan's story. Heroic Knot was the newest Green Lantern in Sector 865, stepping up after Superboy Prime killed her predecessor. Still a rookie, she was training on Oa when she crossed paths with Hal Jordan, the Lantern many in the Corps still didn't trust after his time as Parallax. During a heated moment, Turret of Sector 786 threw the first punch, and Knot, caught up in the chaos, jumped into the fight. She and another rookie went after Guy Gardner, who had Hal's back. Now that brawl didn't last too long as Kilowog shut it all down fast, and everybody involved walk away with 70 demerits, courtesy of Salak. On top of that, Hal and Guy later broke orders to launch a rescue mission on Biot, the Manhunter's homeworld. They freed captured Lanterns, but many still didn't trust Hal. Knot, meanwhile, found a mentor in Droxel, a veteran Lantern who saw potential in her. She fought in the Sinestro Corps War, battled against Nekron during the dreaded Blackest Night, and proved herself time and time again. And then came the Alpha Lanterns, a group of Green Lanterns turned into cold, machine-like enforcers. When they fell under the control of Hank Henshaw, the cyborg Superman, they started abducting their own. Knot was among the Lanterns taken and dragged to Grenda, a planet ruled by robots. There, she was strapped to a table waiting to be transformed. Beyond this, John Stewart arrived on Grenda and he found Knot unconscious. But before he could save her, he was ambushed by Boudica, one of the converted Alphas. Knot was lost. She became an Alpha Lantern, part of Henshaw's twisted army. When Kyle Rayner, Soranik Natu, and Ganthet followed John to Grenda, Knot set a trap posing as a wounded Lantern to drain their power. She nearly succeeded but was forced to retreat, still under Henshaw's control. But now part machine, her mind links directly to the Book of Oa, and she wields the power of both a Green Lantern ring and an Alpha Lantern ring. Strong, determined, and once a proud warrior, she's now just a weapon of the enemy, a tragic fate for a once promising recruit. Indigo One led the Indigo Tribe, the mysterious group that wields the Indigo Light of Compassion. Unlike the other Corps, they don't really wear uniforms. Instead, they tattoo their symbol all over their bodies, marking their devotion. They also speak in Nokian, an obscure language that even the Green Lantern rings can't translate. And their weapons? A power ring and a staff made of glowing, coral-like material that acts as both a power source and an energy conduit. During the Blackest Night, Indigo One and Monk arrived on Earth just in time to help Hal Jordan, the Flash, and the Atom escape a swarm of Black Lanterns. The Indigo Light proved highly effective, and when Indigo One combined it with Hal's Green Light, she completely erased the reanimated Ralph and Sue Dibney. After teleporting to the Hall of Justice, she finally revealed that they could speak English whenever they felt like it. Her mission was clear: combine all the colors of the emotional spectrum to recreate the white light of creation, the only force strong enough to erase the Black Lanterns for good. She and her allies traveled across the cosmos, saving Carol and Sinestro on Zamaron and helping Sinestro reclaim Mescor. They then went to Okara to convince Atrocitus and Larfleeze to join their cause. With the team finally assembled, they headed to Ryut, only to find that they were too late. The Black Lantern Central Power Battery had already been moved to Earth. Back on Earth, they made their move, combining their lights in a final attempt to destroy Nekron's power source, but it failed. Nekron struck back, claiming heroes who had previously cheated death and turning them into Black Lanterns, no matter how alive they still were. But then, Hal Jordan bonded with the entity, the very embodiment of life itself. He resurrected the fallen heroes with his power and created the White Lantern Corps, and together, they forced Black Hand back to life, severing Nekron's connection to the living world and ending his reign. When the dust settled, the Indigo Tribe vanished, taking Black Hand as their newest recruit. They were once again a mystery as they faded into the shadows, silent, watchful, and waiting for the next great battle. Larfleeze is the Orange Lantern Corps. Unlike other corps which recruit members, Larfleeze refuses to share. He's way too greedy. Instead, his army's made up of ring-powered constructs of the people he's killed, with their souls forever trapped under his control. Additionally, the guy's been around for millions of years, living on Okara, and he's not easy to kill. His alien physiology makes him incredibly durable, and his sense of smell is insane. He can detect dead enemies from deep underground. But the most terrifying thing, he doesn't even need a ring to wield orange light. The energy's been with him for so long that it's fused into his very being, making him a living battery that never runs out of power. However, the ring itself is still a weapon of pure greed. Larfleeze has mastered it, creating dozens of energy avatars, each a soldier obeying his every command. But the orange light comes with a cost, an insatiable hunger that forces him to devour food constantly. He's also highly paranoid, trusting nobody and fearing everybody's gonna steal from him. Blue and violet light weaken his power, and his mind is a complete mess. His memories might not even be real. But one thing's for sure, if Larfleeze wants something, it's his. Nekron is one of the most potent and terrifying beings in the DC universe. He's not just another villain, he's the embodiment of death itself. He isn't just out for power or control, unlike other cosmic threats. He exists to erase all life and return the universe to darkness. He leads the Black Lantern Corps, a legion of the dead, and he's the mastermind behind the Blackest Night, one of the deadliest events in Green Lantern history. For a long time, people thought the Nekron was death, but DC later revealed that he's something even worse. He is the Black, the ancient force of nothingness that existed before life even began. When the white light of creation first sparked the universe, it pushed Nekron back into the shadows, locking him away in the land of the unliving, a dark dimension where souls pass through before their final judgment. Naturally, Nekron's been trying to escape ever since, launching attack after attack to drag the universe back into eternal darkness. And this guy's power is beyond comprehension. He can resurrect the dead, kill with the touch, and fire destructive blasts of dark energy. Oh, and he can also grow to any size, becoming a towering, unstoppable force. He even once took a full-force blast from the Anti-Monitor, one of the strongest beings in the multiverse, and shrugged it off like it was nothing. Nobody knows where Nekron came from. Some say that he's always existed, that he was born from the shattered remains of the emotional spectrum at the dawn of time. Others believe that the darkness created him, a living force to protect itself from the spread of light. What's clear though is that he can't be killed, only pushed back. The Guardians of the Universe fought him once long ago and imprisoned him, but he always finds a way to return. Cause look, as long as there's death in the universe, Nekron's always gonna have a way back. Saint Walker is the heart and soul of the Blue Lantern Corps, the very first to wield their power and a beacon of hope in the universe. Hailing from Estonia in Sector 1, he embodies everything the Blue Lanterns stand for: selflessness, optimism, and unwavering belief in a better tomorrow. Unlike the other Lanterns, the Blue Lanterns don't just fight for justice, they inspire it, pushing others to find hope even in the darkest times. And Saint? Well, he's never going to stop hoping, not until the day he takes his last breath. On top of that, Blue Lantern rings are unlike any other. While most Lantern rings run on sheer willpower or emotion, his taps into the universe's collective hope, meaning that it never needs recharging. But there's a catch. A Blue Lantern can only unleash its full power if a Green Lantern is nearby. Otherwise, all they can do is fly and shield themselves. But when a Green Lantern's present, the Blue Lantern ring becomes one of the most powerful weapons in existence. It can supercharge Green Lantern rings, drain energy from others, neutralize the rage-fueled Red Lanterns, and even calm the hunger of the orange light of avarice. But that's not all. Saint Walker's ring gives him some incredible abilities. It lets him create energy constructs, but unlike other Lanterns, his constructs aren't based on his imagination. They reflect what his target truly hopes for. When used on John Stewart, he saw his deceased wife. When turned on Arkelo, he saw his former leader, Sinestro. In battle, his ring lets him fire energy blasts, phase through walls, turn invisible, create illusions, and even manipulate temperature. So much so that he and Worth once turned back a dying star by 8.6 billion years to save a planet from destruction. Every Blue Lantern ring is also an AI-powered supercomputer, packed with knowledge and an instant translator for nearly every language in the universe. It can send messages, it can scan across the electromagnetic spectrum, and even play holographic replays of past events. The ring immediately searches for a worthy replacement if a Blue Lantern falls in battle. Saint Walker is more than just a hero. He symbolizes hope, and his light will never fade as long as there's even a sliver of hope in the universe. Atrocitus was once Atros, a simple being from the planet Ryut in Sector 666, until everything was wiped out. The Manhunters, the Guardians of the Universe's first attempt at an intergalactic police force, went rogue and massacred his entire world. His family, his people, gone. But he survived, and all that was left of him was pure burning rage. So naturally, that rage became his weapon, fueling his thirst for revenge against the Guardians and their Green Lantern Corps. And from that rage, the Red Lantern Corps was born, with Atrocitus as its leader and first member. Unlike other lanterns, Red Lanterns don't just wear their rings, they become them. Their hearts are replaced, making the ring a part of their very being. If removed, they die instantly, unless the Blue Lantern is around to stabilize them. And Atrocitus? He's more than just another Red Lantern. He's stronger, smarter, and entirely in control, unlike most of his Corps, who are reduced to mindless rage. Further, his Red Lantern ring gives him raw, destructive power. He can fly at incredible speeds, create energy blasts, and form constructs, though most Red Lanterns struggle with that. Oh, and his signature attack? Breathing out burning red napalm, an acidic fire so powerful that it melts through almost anything. And worse yet, his energy drains other lanterns, weakening their rings the longer they fight him. Even when his heart was ripped from his chest, he kept on going, because his ring is his heart now. But he's not just about brute force. He's also a master of blood magic, a dark power that lets him see the future, uncover hidden truths, and manipulate his enemies. He's faced Sinestro, Hal Jordan, Martian Manhunter, and even Apollo and Midnighter, and walked away every time. And if he has his way, the Guardians and the Green Lantern Corps won't walk away at all. Arkillo was a warrior, a monster, and a legend in Space Sector 674. Feared across the stars, he didn't just fight, he crushed everything in his path. When the Sinestro Corps came calling, offering him a yellow ring powered by fear, he didn't hesitate. He became one of Sinestro's first recruits and quickly earned his place as the Corps' drill sergeant, training new members through sheer brutality. So let's back it up a second. During a fragile peace between the Green Lantern Corps and the Sinestro Corps, Arkillo partnered with Guy Gardner, a Green Lantern just as stubborn and reckless as he was. The two went on a mission together and somehow ended up as unlikely drinking buddies. But things took a turn when the truth came out. A Sinestro Corps member had killed one of their own. Arkillo knew that this was a step way too far, and when Sinestro's daughter admitted that she was behind it, the fragile alliance shattered instantly. Even with his Corps in chaos, Arkillo stayed close to Guy. He was there when Guy finally confronted his abusive father, watching as years of anger boiled over. Guy nearly beat his father to death, but Arkillo stepped in. He blocked the final blow, telling Guy that killing his father would destroy him. The past may have been painful, but it shaped him into a hero, a Green Lantern, and a warrior. And that moment sealed their friendship. But the fight wasn't over. The Dark Stars arrived, forcing them both to return to their rings and fight side by side once again. Ultimately, Arkillo is a beast in battle. He fights with teeth, claws, and raw power, tearing enemies apart without hesitation. His superhuman strength and durability let him stand toe-to-toe with warriors like Mongol, and he'll do whatever it takes to keep the Sinestro Corps strong. But when it comes to his only true friend, Arkillo proved that he's more than just a weapon. He's loyal to the end. Hal Jordan is the Green Lantern, the first human ever chosen for the Corps. He quickly became one of the greatest lanterns to ever wear the ring. He saved planets, he's fought universal-ending threats, and even helped found the Justice League. But Hal's story isn't just about heroics. He's also been Parallax, a cosmic-level threat, and even took on the mantle of the Spectre, the spirit of vengeance itself. Anyway, Hal isn't just a lone warrior. Over the years, he's built some really strong bonds with other heroes. He looked up to Tomar-Re as one of the best Green Lanterns ever, and became close friends with lanterns like Katma Tui. Oh, and his best friend? Barry Allen the Flash. The two had each other's backs through every battle, whether it was fighting Sinestro, Reverse Flash, or some world-ending disaster. Hal carried on that tradition with Wally West when Barry was gone, seeing potential in the younger speedster despite their age gap. And then there's Oliver Queen, aka Green Arrow, the total opposite of Hal in every single way. But their differences made them a great team, with Oliver showing Hal a side of heroism that he never considered before. As a Lantern, Hal's power is nearly limitless. His willpower fuels the ring, letting him create anything that he can imagine. Weapons, armor, and even entire cities if he needs to. He once held continents in place, stopping the Earth from tearing apart. But it's not just the ring. Hal's a skilled fighter, training in boxing, judo, and hand-to-hand combat. So even without his ring, he's taken down some enemies through sheer skill and determination. At his peak, he wielded unimaginable power. As Parallax, he could reshape reality, absorbing time and energy to try to remake the universe. He had divine judgment as the Spectre, though controlling that power wasn't easy. But through it all, Hal Jordan's greatest strength has always been his indomitable will, that which makes him the most legendary Green Lantern of all. The Entity is the source of all life in the universe. It's the living embodiment of the white light of creation, the force that gave birth to everything. But where there's life, there's also death, its counterpart, Nekron, who wants to wipe out all existence. To keep the Entity safe, the Guardians of the Universe hid it on Earth, locking it away for ages. And that secret didn't last forever. When Blackest Night struck, Nekron broke it free, attacking it directly, hoping to erase all life from existence. Here's the thing, Hal Jordan and Sinestro knew it had to be done. Like Parallax and Ion, the Entity needed a host to control its power. Hal went for it, but Sinestro beat him to it, merging with the Entity and becoming the first White Lantern. With that power, he obliterated entire armies of Black Lanterns. But there was a catch. While connected, Sinestro saw everything. He witnessed life's birth, the emotional spectrum, and the forces that shaped the universe. And that moment of awe cost him. Nekron killed him on the spot. But death couldn't hold him. The Entity's power brought Sinestro back, and they turned the tide together. They even destroyed Nekron's body, but it didn't matter. Nekron wasn't alive, so he just switched hosts. With the Entity vulnerable, Hal Jordan took control. He unleashed the white light, freeing fallen heroes from Nekron's grip, turning them into White Lanterns, and ending the battle by severing Nekron's connection to the living world. With his link gone, Nekron was finally defeated. After the battle, the Entity vanished, but something remained, a White Lantern power battery left behind on Earth. Its power is unmatched. It can bend reality, create pure energy constructs, and fuel the White Lantern rings, wielded by those chosen to protect the balance of life itself. And that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, then make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.